question say it has a table is given. Okay, one case, two cases are given to you. In the first case, the price is constant. Okay, and the quantity demanded changes accordingly. It's an inverse relationship. Yes. No, at the constant price, the quantity demanded is changing. Yes.
Ma'am, I just entered the meet. What is
Yes,
the page
Muskan.
number?
Muskan, open page number 56. Siddhant has yet not come. Okay, question number 32. Now read the table carefully. Look at the table. First case is when your price is constant, your quantity demanded has decreased. Second case is when you have a change in price and quantity demanded remains the same. Okay. Now the question is what type of change is this? Is it decrease in demand or contraction in demand? What kind of change is this?
Sorry, ma'am, can you please repeat?
What is this? What kind of demand is shown in this demand schedule? Is it decrease in demand?
Decrease.
Or is it contraction in demand? Why is it decrease in demand? Decrease in demand means
because the price is changing.
No, price is constant and the quantity decreases.
Yes, it is a shift in the demand curve. Yes, if you come back to page number 50, see it is highlighted here. More price, the same demand. Yes, and on the next page it is highlighted less price, same demand. Okay, so we have this case, less price, same demand. So this is a decrease in demand and not a contraction in demand. So you will remember these when you are learning, when you learn what is contraction and what is decrease in demand. Okay, contraction in demand is on the same curve. You do not have two curves for that. Okay, but when you're talking about decrease, increase, it is shift of the demand curve entirely. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this. You can do. There is a demand schedule given, and you have to make a demand schedule. That you can do easily. Question number 42, 43.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
These are easy questions. Okay.
That is the graph, right?
That's the graph. Okay. Then we have question number 40. There are train and bus services between New Delhi and Jaipur. Okay. Suppose the train fare between the two cities comes down. How will this affect the demand curve for bus travel between the two cities? What situation is this?
People would start traveling more. The demand for traveling would be more between.
First, tell me travel by train and bus. What are these two commodities? How are these two commodities related?
The transport.
They are substitutes of each other.
Ma'am,
Yes, they are mode of transport that we know. They are substitutes for each other. We are talking about commodities. As a commodity, they are substitutes for each other. Okay. So now in this case, you have, yes?
Ma'am, Siddhant is waiting.
Siddhant, yeah. Siddhant, late to class. 10 minutes. Okay.
Ma'am, in question number 42, will we make...
Yes.
Ma'am, do we have to make 5 different graphs?
No, you don't have to make a graph in this. See, he has given you a demand schedule for individual people, and he has said derive the market demand schedule for apples. There is no word draw a demand curve. I have told you schedule is the table representation of your price and quantity. When you use that table to plot a graph, that becomes your curve. Okay. So they have only asked market demand schedule and not the market demand curve. So you don't have to make any graph in this. Yes.
In question number 14, if the
14 or 40?
Sorry, 40.
40. Okay.
So the train fare come down. So the demand for buses will also come down.
Why will it come down? It's a substitution effect. What happens in substitution effect? People
Then
who
the
were
price
traveling
of
by
train
bus,
goes up.
the price of train has gone down. Okay, the
So
price
bus
travel by
rates are up.
yes. So people who were traveling initially by bus now can afford train travel. So they will shift towards train. It's a substitution effect, and substitution effect, the demand curve shifts.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, in substitution effect. Okay, so when you are going through this, you will remember and learn all the cases. In substitution, what happens? In complementary, what happens? Okay, they are not going to ask you just to, maybe they can ask simply explain the shift in demand curve. So you explain. In this case, you have to first derive what is
It is
happening here.
application based.
Okay, it is application based, yes, and these are questions which are asked, not a direct question. Okay, so you have to apply your brains. What has happened in this? Will it be a contraction only, or will it be a total shift in demand? Okay. Okay, long answer type question. What is cross demand? Question number 3. What is meant by cross demand?
You gave this in the worksheet, right?
Yeah, I gave it in the worksheet. That is why I'm asking. What is cross demand? Anybody has attempted this question? No? Cross demand is the same as substitute. Okay, if a price of X commodity increases, the demand for Y will go up. Write it down. Okay, that's why I chose some questions. Maybe if price of commodity X goes up, the quantity demanded of Y will go up. Okay, there are two commodities X and Y. If price of X goes up, quantity demanded of Y is going up. Okay, because it can be easily substituted. So cross demand is substitute goods. Okay,
Ma'am, may you just repeat if
price of commodity X increases, the quantity demanded of Y increases, of commodity Y increases. Okay.
Ma'am, till when do we have to submit the worksheets?
Tomorrow you're going to have a holiday by tomorrow evening.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Next page, question number 10. They have given you a demand schedule and they have given questions first. See, now in this, derive the market demand schedule and plot the market demand curve. So you have to make both. You have to make the market demand schedule also and then plot it on a graph. Okay. So while you are plotting it on the graph, you will draw 3 demand schedules, the individual demands, and then draw the market demand. So all 4 will come in one graph only, the way it is shown in your books. Okay. Second is, suppose Andre drops out of the market. Derive the new market demand curve. So if Andre drops out, your market demand changes because his individual demand you have to take out. Okay, so you will again draw a graph wherein you will show the other two and the derived market demand out of it. Okay, suppose Andre stays in the market and another person joins in. Okay, whose quantity demanded at any given price is half that of Leander. So whatever is given of Leander, you will half it, divide it by 2, make the new demand schedule, make the market demand schedule, and then draw graphs for it. Question is clear? Okay. Okay. This is a direct question. These are all direct questions only. Okay. Question number 22. Explain the diagram below. Can you see the diagram? These are these are demand schedules given to you. Okay. And there is a shift in demand. Okay. There is a shift in demand. The price is constant. Right. So what you will do is, with every point, like on D, initial demand curve was D. Okay. So it shifted from DD to D1, D1. Explain that shift, why it happens. Okay. And what will happen to quantity demanded with price being constant. Okay. So quantity demanded will change from Q to Q1. Okay. Give reasons why these changes happen, why a shift in demand curve happens. Okay. Second is, the market demand was DD, it shifted towards the left to D2, D2. Why this shift happened? Okay, and what will be the quantity demanded here. There are no figures given. You just have to use a Q1, Q2, Q1, Q2. Okay. The
Ma'am,
initial, yes.
ma'am, these two chapters, demand and supply, like they're very important in both point of view.
If they are very important with both point of view, they are very important in economics, because everything in microeconomics depends on your understanding of these chapters. Demand and supply. There is nothing other than demand and supply in microeconomics. Okay, clear? These questions are clear to you? Okay,
Yes,
when we
ma'am.
come back, when we meet in school, I will take you through a revision of these chapters.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
again, taking the entire chapters will be difficult. Okay. Okay, now we are starting today with a new chapter, that is elasticity of demand. Okay. Let me just share with you. Now in this chapter, I have drawn graphs for you. Okay. So that your problem that ma'am we don't understand how to plot a graph is sorted out. Okay. Now first we'll start with elasticity of demand. Now elasticity of demand is basically when we are studying about the demand curve. What is it telling you? It is telling you the change in quantity demanded with respect to price. But it is not telling you how much that change has happened. Does the curve tell you that? It shows you a shift in demand curve. It shows you change in quantity demanded, but it does not tell you how much that change has happened. Okay. So elasticity of demand is that part which tells you how much that demand has, how much the shift in quantity demanded has happened with respect to 1 unit of price. Is it clear to you? So it is also a relationship only between price and quantity demanded. But in this, you get to know what is the magnitude of change that has happened. Okay. This, because it's a relationship between price and quantity demanded, it is also known as price elasticity of demand. Okay. So elasticity of demand is also written as price elasticity of demand. This point is clear? Clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So amount of change in quantity demanded of a commodity in response to change in its unit price is known as price elasticity of demand. Okay. This measures the degree of change, which we were not learning in demand curves. It was just telling us that it is shifting. How much, this we didn't know. Okay. Alfred Marshall was the first economist to develop this concept. He said that it is a ratio of relative change in quantity demanded to relative change in price. Okay. Relative change in price means, or relative change in quantity means, that you are taking what was the initial price, how much it's changed to the next price, P1, how much was the initial quantity, and how much did it change to Q1. Okay, that is relative price. So it is considering initial price and the next price, whatever the change has happened. Okay. And in formula, it is written as ED. ED is your elasticity of demand. Okay. Always it is written like this only. ED is elasticity of demand. This is percentage change in demand for good divided by percentage change in price of that good. Okay. We are taking percentages here because price is written in terms of money, rupees. Okay. And quantity demanded is kgs, it can be liters, it can be any unit. So we do not want to go into that unit ka thing. That is why we take percentages. It is percentage change in demand. Percentages don't have any units. Do they have unit? No.
No.
It is percentage change in demand to divided by percentage change in price. Okay. Because these percentage changes are independent of units, you don't have to worry about the units. Okay. Now let's come to this. All of you have your books in your hands now? You can see this
Yes,
easily?
ma'am.
Okay. So when
Yes,
we
ma'am.
write it in the way of a formula, okay, it is change in quantity. Now change, if you have done in maths, it is always shown by a triangle. Have you done this in maths?
No.
Symbol for change when we use in mathematics, it is a triangle. Okay. So this triangle Q, can you see the cursor moving?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this change, this triangle Q denotes change in quantity. Okay. Divided by the original quantity, that is Q, multiplied by 100. Now only this portion shows you percentage change in quantity. Percentages are taken out like this only. If out of total marks 100, you get 60. What will be the percentage? 60 divided by 100 multiplied by 100. That is your percentage. If out of 80 you are getting 60, it will be 60. That is how much you have received, divided by 80, your total marks, multiplied by 100. The same formula we have applied here. Okay. Change in quantity, whatever the changes happen, divided by whatever the original quantity was, multiplied by 100. This is percentage change. Yes.
Ma'am, can you repeat the full form of ED?
Elasticity of demand.
Okay, ma'am.
Or price elasticity of demand.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this ED is equal to, your top portion was percentage change in quantity demanded. So this is your percentage change in quantity demanded, divided by percentage change in price. Okay. So that is triangle P. That is your percentage change in price. Divide. Yes.
Ma'am, that elasticity of demand. So this the first thing upon this, like change in price,
divided by original price. Yes.
Upon, like into 100 into 100. This is a whole formula.
This is a whole formula. I'm telling you how you have derived on the final formula. Okay.
Ma'am, and sums will be there on based on this.
Yes, this chapter is based on sums only. That's why I chose to do it with my hand, so that I can write all the steps. Okay. I don't have a board here that I can show you how to do it. Okay.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
clear now? What we
Yes,
had
ma'am.
written here, this form, percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in good. This is written in words. I have changed it into a formula. Okay. So this is percentage change in demand, the upper portion, divided by percentage change in price. Okay. This 100 and this 100 cancels. Okay. Now we are using only symbols. Delta Q, this small triangle is known as delta. Okay. So delta Q divided by Q divided by, this entire thing is divided by delta P by P. You have done ratio proportions in mathematics. Yes. When you open this, delta Q by Q will be multiplied by whatever is in the denominator in ratio will be inversed. Yes. So your P comes up divided by delta P. This is clear. This is mathematics ratio proportion. You have done this in 7th, 8th.
Ma'am, I did not understand this.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not understanding.
Okay, come back again. See, this is ratio proportion. You have done ratio proportion. Instead of this delta Q by Q, just think this is 3 by 2. Okay, divided by 3 by 2. This delta Q by Q is 3 divided by 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that whole is divided by, suppose 1 by 2. Okay.
1 by 2.
Okay.
So 2 by 1 get multiplied.
Yes. So now when you open it,
inverse.
Wait, when you open it, it will be 3 by 2 multiplied by 2 by 1, because whatever is in the denominator gets reversed, right? When you are writing in multiplication. Okay, that is what I have done. Delta Q by Q, this portion remains the same. This portion remains the same. The lower portion, the denominator was delta P by P. This reverses. Okay, so P divided by delta P. Clear?
Ma'am, then how did you get the final thing? I'm not getting that.
I'm right telling you that. See, delta Q, this is multiplication. Delta Q into P. Q multiplied by delta P. Yes? If you solve this, you will get this only. I just changed the positions of denominator. What else did I do?
Ma'am, why? Like we can do like that?
Because this is, yes, it is multiplication, no? Commutative property of multiplication, distributive property of multiplication. You've not done that in 6, 7?
Ma'am, I forgot.
3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 4 can also be written as 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 2. It can also be written as 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4. Yes? Yes? So I have just changed the positions of the denominators. So it is change in Q divided by change in P multiplied by P by Q. Now here P and Q, these are the original price and quantity demanded from where the shift has happened. Okay, so these are the original price and quantity demanded. This is change in Q, how much change has happened. Suppose the price has decreased from, it was 10 rupees, it has now decreased to 5 rupees. So 10 minus 5, what will be the change? Of 5 rupees. Okay, this is this change, delta P. Okay, quantity
So
demanded.
delta P is the change.
Change, yes, it's a change. Okay,
Yes.
delta Q also similarly, if the quantity demanded was 10, it increased to 20. So delta Q will be 10 minus 20, that is minus 10. Now please remember, if we get minus in these, they are just telling you minus sign represents an inverse relationship. Other than that, you have nothing to worry about minus signs. Okay, because you will get a minus sign. Okay, I will give you examples, numericals. You will get a minus sign. The minus sign that you get only shows that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
This we are learning in respect of normal goods. We are not considering here inferior goods or given goods. This price elasticity of demand is just with respect to normal goods. Okay, and in normal goods,
Ma'am, can we get some examples?
yes, I am going to that only. How to
Yes, ma'am.
derive this? Okay, see. First, you can see the first example. Price of a commodity, quantity demanded, price is per kg, and quantity demanded is in kgs. Okay, can you see the table? It is given in your book also, but it's a little difficult to understand from there, so I have solved it here. Okay, this table is clear. First initial
Yes,
price
ma'am.
was 50 rupees. That's your first. Okay, at 50 rupees, your quantity demanded was 100 kgs. Okay, at 50 rupees per kg, your quantity demanded was 100 kgs. When the price increased to 60 rupees, that became P1. It has increased. The quantity demanded becomes 70. Okay, 70 kgs. Quantity has decreased, price has increased. Okay, clear?
Yes,
So we are supposing now our initial quantity and initial price. Initial price is P, okay, that is 50 rupees. Initial quantity is 100 Q, okay. The change that has happened, the new price is 60 is P1
60.
and 70 is Q1, okay. So first we find out the changes that have come in price and quantity. So delta P will be P1 minus P, the final price minus the initial price. Okay, so it is P1 minus
Ma'am,
yes.
Ma'am, if any of price or quantity demanded changes,
Yes.
then we write it increases or decreases. We write one Q1
Yes.
or P1.
Yes, we will write the initial
That doesn't
price.
make any change.
That doesn't make any change whether it has increased or decreased. Okay, your initial
Yes, ma'am.
price is always P and Q. Whatever has changed, your final price will be P1, Q1. If
P1.
there are more given, then it is P2, Q2. Okay,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
your initial price P and Q doesn't change. Whatever
Yes.
calculation you do, the initial price remains the same. Okay. So now change in price is P1 minus P, that is 60 minus 50, that is 10. 10 rupees ka change has come. Okay. Change in quantity demanded, Q1 minus Q. Okay. Q1 was 70. Q1 is 70 and initial quantity demanded was 100. So 70 minus 100 is minus 30. I told you the minus sign only denotes that there is a inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Okay, this is shown in the table. When the price increase, quantity demanded decreases. Okay, so that is the only thing which this minus sign is showing you. You don't have to worry about this minus sign. So now you use the formula, you put all these in this. Change in quantity divided by change in price. Change in quantity is minus 30 or 30. You don't have to worry about minus. Divided by change in price is 10. Right? Multiplied by price divided by Q. So that is 50 divided by 100. You know how to solve a question like this? you cut the zeros, you subtract, multiply, divide whatever is available, and
Yes,
you get
ma'am.
minus 3/2, which is minus 1.5. Okay, so your elasticity of demand has come as 1.5, right? Is this sum clear to you?
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes,
ma'am,
Arya.
ma'am, it will always be minus to show inverse relationship, or
Yes.
it can be plus to show
It
direct.
can. If it is a direct relationship, that is in case of given good, it will give you a positive sign.
So,
Okay.
ma'am, we also have to state that it is a given good.
If the question is asked, yes.
Okay.
Because if a question of given good is given to you, they will ask, find out the price elasticity of demand and state what kind of good it is. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in original quantity, why have you taken 10?
Why have I taken 10 in original quantity? Where did I take 10? This is change in price. 30 is your change in quantity
She
demand.
has subtracted it.
Okay.
See, I have solved. That is why I said I have solved it here and shown it to you, because in the table it is difficult to understand. So we calculated each step by step. The first step was change in price. We calculated the change in price. Second step is we calculated the change in quantity demand. Okay. Then we substituted this in the formula. So change in Q by change in P. Okay. And then the original price and quantity. Always remember, it has to be the original price and quantity. Okay. Not the change. Okay. And when you do the calculations, you get elasticity of demand is equal to 1.5 minus 1.5, showing
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, in the solving of sums, if we cut the zeros, then it is not minus 1.5.
Then what is it? Why? See here, 50 and 10, 10 cancel from here. 30 and 30, this 0 cancel from here. 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10. So you get 3/2 only. 3/2 is 1.5.
Okay, understood.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
I expected class 10 students can solve this much of sums. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So your elasticity of demand is minus 1.5, which shows there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. This also shows that when there was a change of 1 unit, that is the price changed by 1 rupees, the quantity demanded changes by 1.5%. Understood?
Yes.
The meaning of this ED is equals to minus 1.5. This is what you have to write in your end. Okay. Elasticity of demand is minus 1.5. The minus sign shows the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, which means it's a normal good. And this means with 1 unit change in price, the change in quantity demanded is equal to 1.5 times. Okay. So it
Yes,
will
ma'am.
increase 1.5 times if there is a unit change in price. The price changes by 1 rupees. The quantity demanded changes by 1.5. Okay. Understood this relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Now is okay. You can solve questions like this. Simple elasticity of demand. Now we are going to learn the various degrees of elasticity, or you can say the types of elasticity of demand. Okay. Now these types of elasticity of demand is the values that you get. ED is equals to 1.5, ED is equals to 1, ED equals to 2. So how do you take conclusions out of it? Okay. So these are the degrees of elasticity or the types of elasticity. There are 5 types. Okay. When your ED is equal to 0, when it is equal to infinity. What is the meaning of infinity? Everybody knows? It never ends. Yes. So your ED can be equal to 0. It can be equal to infinity. It can be equal to 1. Okay. 3 situations these. Fourth situation is it can be greater than 1. Fifth situation is it can be less than 1. Okay.
Ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Arya.
Ma'am, in what situation will we get infinity? Like, may you show an example?
I will take one by one and tell you in what situations you get these. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
right? One by one, I'll deal with this elasticity, show you the graphs, what kind of graphs you're going to get in these, and what kind of situations. Okay, now in this ED equal to, actually 3 situations never come, only 2 comes. Okay, but you have to learn about these situations. Okay, so let's start. There are 5 situations that we are going to learn: 0, 1, less than 1, greater than 1, and infinity. Okay, so the first elasticity of demand is when it is known as perfectly inelastic demand, when your elasticity of demand is equal to 0. Okay, when your elasticity of demand comes equal to 0, that is known as perfectly inelastic demand. Now remember, there is a term inelastic demand and there is a term perfectly inelastic demand. Okay, so ED equal to 0 is your perfectly inelastic demand. Now what is the meaning of perfectly inelastic demand? See, I have drawn a graph here. Yes, on the y-axis it is price, on the x-axis it is quantity demanded. Your demand curve is like this. It's parallel to the y-axis, straight line parallel to the y-axis. Okay, if you take any price on the y-axis, any price, your quantity demanded remains the same. There is no change in quantity demanded. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this kind of situation is where your elasticity of demand is equal to 0. This means, what does it mean literally? This means when there is a change in price, whatever amount of change in price, your quantity demanded does not change at all. Okay, that is why it is known as inelastic, perfectly inelastic. Okay, there is no change at all in quantity demanded. Okay, this is your first situation. Now this kind of situation is not found in real life, because there can be no substance in this for which we can have a elasticity equal to 0, that the price
So,
change
ma'am,
happens. Yes,
in this, it is telling that a commodity is not sold at any kind on any price.
no, this is saying that whatever the price, the quantity demanded of that commodity does not change.
Okay.
Whatever the demand in the market is, suppose for a price of 5 rupees, the demand for that commodity was 10 units. If
Yes.
the price goes to 15, if the price goes to 20, or the price falls to 1, the quantity demanded stays the same as 10 units. There will be no change, neither a upward change nor a lower change. Okay, such kind of good is not found in real life. It is just a situation that you have to learn. Why you have to learn this, you will understand afterwards. Okay, but this is one situation. This is the first situation, which is known as perfectly inelastic demand. Okay, and the demand curve that you get in this is this. Clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we'll go to second. Second is known as inelastic demand. That one was perfectly inelastic demand. Okay, now this is a inelastic demand. That means your ED, that is elasticity of demand, is less.
Ma'am, your voice is echoing.
My voice is breaking. Hello, actually my net is not stable. Now can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that was your perfectly inelastic demand. Second case is inelastic demand. The perfect is gone from there. Okay, it's an inelastic demand where your elasticity of demand is less than 1. Okay, remember, it is less than 1. That means it is between 0 and 1. Okay, if it has a minus sign, you just discard the minus sign. Okay, the elasticity of demand that you get will be between 0 and 1. It is less than 1. Okay, that means when the change in price happens, howsoever big the change in demand, quantity demanded, is not equated with that change in price. Okay, I have given you an example here. The price, initial price is given as 25. The price increased to 35. There is a 10 rupee difference, right? So if there is a 10 rupee difference in some commodity, we will expect a nearly equal decline in quantity also. Yes, but what has changed? From 10, the quantity demanded has just dropped to 9. Okay, so the percentage change in price that had happened, the fall that had happened, that percentage change is not equated with the percentage change in quantity demanded. I have taken out the percentages for both. Okay, percentage fall in demand, change in Q over Q multiplied by 100. This is normal percentage formula. Okay, so what is our change in quantity demanded? 10 minus 1, Q1 is 9. So it is 9 minus 10. 9 minus 10 divided by our original quantity was 10 multiplied by 100. This gives us a 10% change. Okay, so the quantity demanded has fallen by 10%. Okay, and what is the percentage rise in price? Change in price by price multiplied by 100, which gives us a 40%. So a 40% rise in price has only changed the quantity demanded by 10%. Okay, so the
Ma'am,
change,
I'm not understanding.
what
Yes,
you have not
ma'am.
understood? You don't know how to
Ma'am,
take percentage,
No,
Muskan?
ma'am, I understood that, but
Okay,
the thing that you told here after it is less than 1, I'm
yes.
not understanding.
Leave that less than 1. That we have not calculated. I have not calculated the elasticity of demand till now. I have just calculated the percentage fall in demand and percentage fall rise in price.
Ma'am,